Hey, it's been a while since I loaded the video, so I probably should do one. And I guess I want to talk on the topic about your nervous system because I've been sitting with myself for a pretty good while, and I kind of realized like it's not that really hard. It's simple to describe what's going on. Your nervous system is calm or is in a fight or flight response. So we get triggered depending on our underlying, I guess, I won't call them issues. I don't want to call them issues. I want to call them like our experiences, our underlying experiences that we have not yet to sit with and allow those emotions to come up and express itself by just being released and just paying attention to it. The more that you fight it, run from it, some people know habits of alcohol. They just try to cover up the emotions because it can be pretty intense. Because I remember when I had to sit through one of those. Mine was a flight where I wanted to run out the room to fight. At flight responses, some people respond by trying to fight. But what's really happening is that your nervous system is not calm, is in a fight or flight. So while it's in the fight or flight, you're really taking all that excess energy that you need to do is run from an animal, or it doesn't matter because your brain don't know the difference between an animal or just a bill coming in the mail or a court case, etc. It's all the same to the brain. It's going to make the same chemical compounds, the stress hormones. It's going to take all the energy from your organs and stuff to your, bring it all to your legs for running, maybe bring it to your lungs for the breathing. Your immune system, oh, you don't need that right now. We got to get away right now. But from after you get done running from this animal, you're like, oh, I could come back in homeostasis. I can put all this energy back out to where it needs to be, to back to my lungs, back to my organs, back to my immune system. But that doesn't happen. Every time we see something, we get triggered. It doesn't even matter if it's life-threatening or not. Your body don't know any difference. You got triggered, doesn't matter. So these emotional responses comes up. And usually when you get to a safe situation or a safe spot, wherever stored up emotional energy that you have at a time wants to come to the surface. So you get triggered. Most of the time, if you're able to sit with that and say, I accept you, I'm safe now, you can express yourself. But the key is don't attach any thoughts to it, because your thoughts can perpetuate it and make it more. Or I could say in my instance, I kind of used it to my advantage. One of the examples is that I was doing a court case, going through my case, and every time I would think about something, I would get this freaking strong emotional stir in my gut. And then I get agitated the more I thought about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to use this opportunity to release, but just with this thought alone. So as I thought about it, I sat with it and I said, you're okay, you're safe. You're okay to come up and release. And I kept doing that. I kept on feeling it, feeling that emotional that came up when every time I thought about it. And the greatest thing, I kept on doing it, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm thinking about it, but it's no more emotional. I like, oh, it's discharge. And what usually helps me is breathing exercise during this. Breathing exercise, going out walking with my dog. Yep, walking with my dog, or just being alone, go touch a tree. It helps ground you because we're all electromagnetic beings. So all we're doing is discharging those emotions. And once we discharge those emotions, we can fill our electrical body up with something good. You can take those thoughts that was running with it, and you can actually put more positive thoughts on it. And then you can actually start to fill your electrical body up with something more something that's more suitable to helping you, instead of you getting stressed out from a bill or from what somebody said to you. Because all it is just emotional energy that being storage. Energy needs to flow like water. Just let it flow through your body and out. You don't supposed to sit there and stick around and make a home out of it. And then whenever times the emotional energy wants to come up and release, you're like, nope, not this time, buddy. I'm gonna go drink this alcohol, or I'm gonna go do this, or I'm gonna watch TV, but I'm gonna do everything else but look at this emotion because it's too intense right now. Then it goes in the background again, and then it gets covered up. It's like, oh yes, that helped, but it really didn't help. That's why our outbursts, like somebody's storing a lot of anger, just all over it, flip out. It's not because they just didn't flip out. It's because it takes a while for all that stuff for somebody to blow up. But that because the nervous system, coming back to the nervous system, is that the nervous system is in a fight or flight or calm. Usually the time when you come back into calmness, that's when usually the time it comes up, it's like, oh, we're calm. They have this chance for me to come up and release. And sometimes the world will help you. You would trigger you so you can actually come to terms with it, so you can acknowledge it and just release it, ground it, through breathing exercises, staying in your body. And I can tell you what helped me the most is during that state in time when that fight is up to its maximum, I noticed that I could hear my heartbeat a lot clearly. So I just put my hand over my heart and I just listen to it and just say, you're safe. And as I listen to it, I just naturally calm down while doing my breathing exercises. And if you keep doing this, you'll find out that when you think about something, it doesn't trigger you anymore. What was attachment was the thought that's attaching to it. Or sometimes we don't realize where we hold on, my dogs. Sometimes we don't realize what I got distracted, sorry, because my dog's trying to pull and see the other dogs, but I'm not going to edit this or anything, so I might have to jump around. But it's the fight or flight response that really get us, and we just have to stay calm and collective and use these triggers to the advantage where we can allow them to release, because we're really not any dangerous. Whatever program that was embedded into us where we can cope at the time, and sometimes that coping mechanism doesn't align with us right now. So the attachments for every thoughts get attached to emotional charge. And sometimes if you watch what you think about during this time, your mind will be attaching a lot of stuff at that time. Oh, what about this person doing this? Creating a little story. You literally creating a story in your head to perpetuate wherever you're feeling, to give it justification for it to be there, when there's really no justification at all, but just that you're allowing it to be there. So when the next person that comes and they upset you or say something really terrible in a comment, it's really not them. That it's just a trigger for something underlying that was never dealt with. But use that as an opportunity to sit with yourself, be in silence, ride down the road with no radio. This is exactly what I do. No radio, just me and my thoughts with breathing exercise. And if I drift off and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I already passed past this part in my driving, then I already know that I wasn't present. I was in my head, listening to that story. But now for me, I'm just observing my thoughts, really. So as I do my breathing exercises, I'm just really just observing the thoughts and just watching them play out in my head. But I know I'm not part of that story. But I kind of realized, like, I've been doing this for a while. Now I can just simply stop the story. Silence, peace. It's really great whenever you can observe the thoughts and then you can actually observe the thoughts that's trying to attach, and then the story keeps on going. The next thing you know, you're yelling at somebody like, why are you yelling at me? It's because you want to act out your story now, and you hear nothing in that emotional state, by the way, because you're not present. The programming took over because it's so programmed into us. But once you stop reacting to things, then you're able to give a better judgment of your exact situation. And I come to learn that once you think about something and you release this energy charge, answers come to you because of the fact that you have the excess energy to go in the thought process and to focus that energy into to something that comes into a solution. And and then you'll see a lot of synchronicities coming up, showing you the way, depending on your personality, how they show up in your life. That's depending on you. Nothing's ever by accident, by the way. If something happened, it happens. A while ago, the dogs were barking, and I got off a little track, but it happened for a reason. Sometimes I don't know the reasons. I just know that everything works out in my favor because God loves us, and the universe just moves for our favor. And instead of taking the experience to be negative, the experience can be actually positive, because all it is just a redirection. If it keep on looping to your life, it's just mean that your experience is still learning. And it just, like, for example, we get in these relationships that are the same type of people. I noticed that from my past relationship. I was like, oh wow, these people are the same. They have the same problem. And you know what? I couldn't, like, when the problem arises, like, it may not surface at the beginning, but it'll surface like in the middle of it, and like, oh yeah, there it is. I should have looked for that earlier, but I didn't catch it. But we attract who we are, what kind of vibrational state we're emitting. So learning consumer and contract law and just going outside the norm, and recently equity, private, not in your private individual capacity. These people take advantage of you being in that fight or flight response. But I guarantee you, if you're able to ground yourself, dismiss what's not true, and you can pretty much resolve that emotional state very quickly, and you could just see what it's for. Also, once your nervous system calm, you can literally feel people's intent, because if you have a calm nervous system, then you can actually feel the other person's intention. You can even see where it's going. You get so much clarity on the things that of other people's intentions. That's why some people are great at sales calls and stuff. If I know what moves you, fear, urgency, I can warp it in a way to make you act, because you're basing it off an emotion state. I no longer make decisions, especially important decisions, if I'm in emotional state. I'll let the emotional wave ride out. Once I let the emotional wave ride out, and then I come back to it, if I feel the same way, then mostly looking for an excitement. If it's excitement feeling, I say, oh wait, I guess it meant for me to buy this, because I'm still excited after a couple of days of not getting it. So you use your emotions for guidance. It's the language of the soul. It's what you're feeling at the time. And if you don't have a clear state of, if your nervous system is not calm and it's just chaotic, because all those hormones and stress hormones and cortisols, all that stuff is flooding into your system, then how can you get a good read on people? How can you use your own feelings to help you make decisions? Because your body tells you everything. I quit a job because I didn't feel right. It didn't make me feel right, and I felt awful there. I felt golly awful at this job. And I was like, my mom was like, keep on going, you can do it. But no, my body was saying no. That's out of alignment. Body saying no, brain saying something else. But if you're gonna go with something, go with your body, your emotional feeling, because it's the language of the soul. Because you are not your thoughts. So if your body feels like you need to quit a job, I don't take this as advice. I'm just saying that go with your feeling. The minute I quit, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel good. I felt like on the top of the world. I was lively, and I like, you know what? This is the frequency I need to be at, because I'm going to attract this, because I feel so good right now, and everything's always works out. It just simply does. So, is your nervous system fight, flight, or calm? You can get a lot much better reads on calm states. So, most importantly, David Bear, I think it's Beyer, Change Your Mind. It's a good book. It also goes along with what I'm saying. The conversation that you tell yourself in your head perpetuates that emotional state. If it perpetuates that emotional state, it keeps it alive. Ignoring it keeps it alive. Facing it kills it, or allows it to come up to express itself. Once it's expressed, there's no longer for it to stick around, because you already expressed it. And you can watch your emotional state body calms down. As it starts to calm down during your breathing exercise, and then you detaching from those thoughts in your head. Don't release it without any attachment. Say this, wherever you're thinking about what triggered it. It's also good to observe those thoughts while you going through that state of emotional release, because it's almost like a filing cabinet, and you purged it, and it's just like the lingering effects of the files that's been unloading, and it's almost like the entanglement of thoughts with the emotional, but there's no emotional charge there to keep it, so it dissipates, and they all come flooding up. So don't be scared of the thoughts that you have. Just what I tell myself, I always say, if I see an unpleasant thought that's trying to strike emotion, I say, that's interesting. I like, interesting thought, but that's all it is. It's a cloud. There's no clouds in the sky. So your thoughts are like clouds going by. You get to focus on the whole sky view, or you can keep on focusing on that one cloud. You get to choose. But why not choose the thoughts that are really happy, and ground those thoughts? You can literally take those thoughts, and then the good ones, after you release the emotional baggage, you can take those good thoughts, and then you can attach those good thoughts, happy thoughts, and visualize something. That's what Nella Garden talks about, visualization. You're attaching those visualization with those thought process, giving an emotional attachment. So if you're thinking about something, you get emotionally charged with what attracts it to you. So I'm just basically explaining to how I process when I start to process these emotional. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's easy for me now. It's just very little effects right now. And sometimes a big one comes, and I'm like, oh wow, I ain't had a big one in a while. Let me go sit. I'm gonna go sit by myself, and I'm just gonna do these breathing exercises, because this is intense. It can be intense. If you don't want to go through the whole, sometimes just being aware of it is just enough to get it to release. Just being aware of it. But if you try to find yourself trying to do it a habitual habit to try to get rid of it, or try to distract yourself, that's a good key indicator that you're doing avoidance. But I'm not going to try to make this video too long. I just want to help people out there that want to try to get a clear understanding of, through my perspective view, of how the nervous system works, and how things trigger it, and then it puts you in a fight or flight response, taking you out of a peaceful state. or you want to just use techniques, meditation techniques, breathing techniques, anything that works for you. It just has to work for you. It doesn't matter. The only person that it matters is you. If it works, if you don't try to rely on my messages and stuff. Just rely on what's true for you and what helps for you. I have read a lot of books and stuff, did a lot of techniques, but like, oh well, this kind of I kind of mix and match. I like, oh, this one works good, especially when I mix these two. But yeah, well, thank you for listening to this message, and I hope this helps somebody out. I'll probably be talking more about, not talking about more about cases and what I have been learning in these cases, and which is pretty interesting. That's why I've been absent for a while, is I've been doing a lot of learning, and so I started just understanding the court system. I had to really understand how the court works, jurisdictions, standing, and just a preview, just as simply how to not even go into the merit stage, meaning like, hey, I did this and I should win because of this, but really challenge the standing, meaning that the right to be in the court the first place. Because just a small example, for me to sue you, I have to show you why and how and all the accounting and also the owner. I had to show you all of that stuff before I even sue you. People, we skip right over that. When we waive our rights when we skip over and go straight to argument and merits. Just simply facts. Just state facts and say, hey, I don't know if I really owe you because you haven't really showed this. That's pretty much it. And you stick with that. But all right, thank you for coming and watching me speak on this lovely walk with my dog, Luna. All right, talk to you guys later.